For a fact, we all know that climate change is one of the leading global crises facing us today, and we always have information from different media and publications about how climate has changed in the past and is yet to change in the future. But have you ever wondered or questioned how these figures are deducted to? Well, this is the prediction of future climate, and I'm looking at a project to understand the performance of 23 general circulation models in Africa. My name is Sarah Namiro, and I'm a graduate student in the Department of Renewable Resources. To give you some background, global temperatures are expected to rise by a range of 2 degrees and 8.5 degrees Celsius by the end of this century. These numbers are arrived to using global circulation models. The current phase of coupled model intercomparison project has over 100 models. And these models, in addition to shared socioeconomic pathways, were used in the current 6th IPCC report. The figure on your left shows some of the projections in the different scenarios. For example, 8.5 has higher temperatures than 2.6 or SSP 1.2. To give you some background on Africa, in the period between 1961 and 1990, temperatures rose by 0.2 degrees Celsius per decade. These were increased further in the period 1991 to 2021 and are projected to increase even further in the future, affecting several life aspects including food systems, ecosystems, freshwater health, poverty, security, and conflict, among others. There are increasingly more models with various predictions on how climate is projected. However, there remains a need to downscale the selection of these models based on research or management goals, as well as geographical locations or areas of interest. This brings me to the objectives of this study, which is to compare the performance of 23 general circulation models projections of future climate for Africa. And these are going to be attained using 3 different questions. 1, what is the performance of models against the main bioclimatic variables in Africa? 2, what are the similarities and divergences of these model predictions? And what is the performance of models based on regional classifications of Africa? For my methods and data, the regions used in my study were IPCC selected regions for Africa. I also used the SSP2, which caps temperature rise at 4.5, and the future period of 2050s, that is also 2041-2060 for my future climate datasets. I performed 2 techniques from multivariate analysis, that is principal component analysis, to visualize the relationship of the 19 bioclimatic variables and models, and the cluster analysis to visualize the similarity or dissimilarity among models and the regional clusters of models. These methods answered the various questions asked for my objective. From the PCA, components 1 to 3 explained over 80% of the variance in the projections by the models. Principle 1 explained 45%, Principle 2, 20%, and Principle 3, 16%. From the figures, temperature and precipitation variables are distinctly separate except for a few outliers such as P1, Q18 because of the perpendicular alignment of the vectors. These are precipitation and these are mostly temperature variables. Secondly, all the models had relations with both mean and with both temperature and precipitation variables, except for a few such as these ones as explained here that seemingly only had relations with precipitation variables. The second analysis was the cluster analysis, and it was performed on 6 bioclimatic variables as shown, and from my analysis I picked a distance of 20, and the analysis reveals that the ensemble of 23 models can be narrowed to 4 clusters as shown above. This is the first cluster, the second cluster, third and fourth cluster. Since I'm still working with preliminary results, my next steps in this project are to do a model cluster analysis for the regions in Africa and do raster visualization for selected bioclimatic variables under the different models in the SSP2 4.5. These are my references. Thank you very much.